Today, we're going to look at some Japanese ideas that are, well, they're not really productivity hacks. Not at all. It's more about a completely different way of thinking about your work, your purpose, and even your place in the world. So let's dive in. So, does this look familiar to you? In this whole hustle culture we're in, it's so easy to feel like you're just drowning in tasks. We're always busy, right? But the real question is, are we actually being effective? And are we finding any real meaning in what we're doing? So, what if the answer isn't some new app on your phone? What if it's about changing our entire mindset? These Japanese principles, they offer a much more, holistic approach. It's a way to find some clarity and meaning, not just to cross more things off a list. Okay, let's start with you on the individual level. We're going to look at two really powerful ideas for managing your own tasks and really building a mindset of constant growth. First up, Kanban. Now, this came from Taiichi Ono at Toyota, and its core idea is, well, it's almost laughably simple. Just make your work visible. Because when you can actually see your entire workflow laid out in front of you, you start to spot the problems, the bottlenecks, before they totally mess up your day. So in practice, you basically just trade that crazy, chaotic to-do list for a simple 3-column board. Things move from ready to in progress, and then finally to completed. This visual system, it doesn't just keep you focused, it also gives you that amazing, satisfying feeling of getting things done. Man, this quote, this is from the legendary sushi chef Jiro Ono, and it just perfectly captures our next big idea. It's all about this relentless, passionate pursuit of getting better, not just finding a quick fix. And that idea is Kaizen. It's this whole philosophy of making small, consistent improvements over time. It's a huge part of what people call the Toyota way, and it really gives everyone in a company from the top down the power to ask a really simple but powerful question: how can we make this just a tiny bit better? All right, so let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about the individual, now let's scale up to the team. Because just like Kaizen improves a process, these next concepts are all about improving the communication that makes a team actually work together. So this brings us to something called Horenso, a communication framework that popped up in the 1980s. And here's a fun fact. Horenso is actually the Japanese word for spinach. It's a clever little mnemonic for a really healthy business practice. In Japan, it's considered a fundamental skill for pretty much any new employee. Now, the real key to Horenso is finding the right balance. On one hand, it creates this culture where everyone shares ownership and you can solve problems really fast. But on the other hand, if you're not careful, it can lead to endless check-ins and, even micromanagement. This slide highlights such a fascinating cultural difference. There's this idea called nemawashi, which literally means turning the roots. It's all about building consensus informally before you even get to the big meeting. It's a huge contrast to the Western big reveal style, where you present a new idea and it can immediately put people on the defensive. Okay, let's zoom out even further to the whole organization. How do all of these principles actually shape a company's entire philosophy? I mean, this is about what gives a company its soul, its identity. Monozukuri. Now, it literally translates to making things, but wow, it is so much deeper than that. It's a concept that's really deeply rooted in Japanese craftsmanship. It's the philosophy that turned made in Japan into a global symbol of quality and precision. And this quote here from the president of Kits Corporation, it just perfectly sums up the spirit of Monozukuri. See, it's not just about making a product, it's about making a positive contribution to the world through what you create. So if Monozukuri is the soul of a company, then Hoshin Kanri is its compass. It's a strategic management method that makes sure everyone, from the CEO's office all the way to the front lines, is aligned around a single shared purpose. Everyone's rowing in the same direction. So we've gone from the individual to the team to the whole organization. And now we get to the real philosophical heart of it all, connecting everything we do to a deep personal sense of purpose. This incredible concept is built on 4 pillars. You ask yourself, what do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? And right there at the intersection of all 4 of those pillars, that's where you find your Ikigai, your reason for being. It's that beautiful sweet spot where your passion, your skills, your impact, and your livelihood all come together. And why is this so important? Well, get this. Japan has one of the world's highest life expectancies. And a lot of people there believe that having a strong sense of Ikigai doesn't just contribute to happiness, it contributes to a longer, more fulfilling life. And finally, let's look at what might be the ultimate expression of this whole purpose-driven, long-term philosophy in the business world. And the results, they are truly incredible. Just think about this for a second. Japan is home to over 52,000 companies that are more than a century old. 52,000! To put that in perspective, the average lifespan of a company on the S&P 500 is less than 18 years. It's just wild. These amazing, long-lasting businesses are known as shinisei, and it's a term that means so much more than just old. It means the company is built on trust, on legacy, and a commitment to stability over just making a quick buck. They put their core values and their role in the community first, and that's what lets them thrive for generations.
And that brings us to one last really powerful question. In a world that is just obsessed with quarterly reports and short-term gains, what can we learn from a philosophy that builds businesses to last for centuries? It's a question that really challenges our entire definition of success.